Alright, this is Andrew with Joda Home Inspections. We're here today in Canyon Rim doing a sewer scope. Today is November 7th, 2022. And we're at 2887 South Katherine Circle. We've got the camera pushed out 146 feet. Barely made it by 4 feet before my camera reel ran out of cable. This is as far as I'm able to push my camera out, but luckily we made it. So, this lateral line feeds into a manhole. When you see this kind of half moon shape, that's how we know it's going into a manhole. Also, if you look out 20 feet or 30 feet or so beyond the edge of your curb, out into the road, you have a manhole, and that's where it's feeding into. Right off the bat, this first section is very flat. Flat enough that my camera is going underwater. I have been running some water, but you certainly shouldn't have water that's building up past the camera height. A little bit of it might settle down, and it might go down a little bit, but even before I was running much water, before it caught up to my camera, I did see standing water. And so that's an area that's a little bit flat. It looks like it might have had a partial replacement or a spot repair in the past. On a long line like this, a lot of times you can't correct the grade very easily. This house sits pretty far back, and without bringing the line up in the basement, which oftentimes you can't do, it's hard to get proper grade now that the house is built and it's set up the way that it is. You can't move the city line, you can't move your house, and so you kind of have to deal with what you have. And this is a somewhat flat section of line. You might have enough slope in other areas that you'd be able to correct it, but a little bit tough. It's also right before the manhole, and so this is an area that's out in the road. And so if you were to repair it, you'd be digging up the road, which definitely adds to the expense. If you look at this PVC section, the blue pipe, how it's moved, it doesn't line up perfectly with this white section of pipe, which is called transite. That's called an offset, where the pipes have slipped a little bit. It doesn't create a huge lip on the entire line, but on the right hand side you do have a good lip. That's a spot where waste could get caught and create a blockage. Looks like it's performing okay right now, but as I push my camera through, I did push through a couple big pieces of toilet paper. They could have been wet wipes. I always recommend not flushing wet wipes down the line. Even when it says they're flushable, I'd recommend not doing it. This is transite. This is a cement asbestos pipe. There's a wet wipe. Maybe a tiny root right there. This area is looking good. When the entire line isn't flat, you have a better chance of being able to correct the grade where you have that flat spot. This is cast iron. Looks like a cast iron clean out. As you can tell, cast iron gets really rough and rusty. Waste can get stuck on it and create blockages, which can lead to a backup. Eventually, cast iron will need to be replaced, whether it's sections of pipe or even just clean outs like that. Looks like these pipes have slipped a little bit. Looks like a little bit of a gap. I can't tell if there's a fitting around it or what's sealing it, if anything. But if water gets through there over time, it can start to erode the earth under it and create a belly. That one's kind of a question on whether or not that would happen. It's hard to tell. It's a good sign that you don't have waste and a belly in that area right now. Little bit of buildup, little bit of standing water, not horrible. Now we're transitioning to cast iron. This is what's under the house. It's looking kind of flat in this area too. Oh, look at all that buildup. You might consider having this line cleaned out. When you have cast iron, one of the ways you can clean it is called picote, where they cut it with a chain cutter. That helps create a smooth surface again. I would recommend getting the insurance on the line. That can help offset the cost if and when this line needs to be replaced. I would ask specifically if what is under the house is part of the insurance. I'm not sure if it's only covering what's outside the foundation going through the yard, and all that cast iron was under the house. Or I should say the majority of it. I don't know exactly where it transitions. Alright, so just to recap, you do have one section that's kind of flat. It was PVC, and another thing I was thinking about is, since that's an area that has been repaired or modified in the past, I would find out when that was done and if there's a warranty on it. Since it is flat, it's something that they might cover. It is PVC, so it's not original, and so someone's done work on it at some point. I would find out who and when and if there's a warranty on it. Next thing, a lot of cast iron, a little bit of buildup, and also a lot of rust and scale. And so I'd recommend having that cleaned and then getting the insurance on the entire line. I'm going to end this recording now.